Let me start with a strange question. What if I told you most people spend years trying to learn things when they could learn them 10x faster? Sounds crazy, right? But think about it. At some point in your life, you probably wished you could learn something instantly, like snapping your fingers, and suddenly you just know how to do it. Maybe when you were younger you wanted to do a backflip, just to impress your friends at school. Or maybe you imagined picking up a guitar and playing a song perfectly, and everyone around you going, "Wow, that's actually cool." Maybe it was running faster, jumping higher, drawing better, or even learning that one viral dance everyone was doing. Back then the goal was simple. You just wanted to be the cool kid people noticed. But as you grow older, something changes. The things you want to learn become more serious. Now people want to learn skills that can actually change their future. Things like learning a new language, starting a business, understanding technology, coding, finance, sports performance, skills that could actually improve your life. But here's the frustrating part. Most people are terrible at learning efficiently, and honestly, it's not completely your fault. The way many schools teach us is very simple. Memorize information. Pass the test. Forget most of it a week later. That's not real learning. Real learning means understanding something deeply, being able to use it, and remembering it so well that it eventually feels natural. Think about the last time you tried to learn something new. Maybe a language, maybe coding, maybe drawing, or playing an instrument. What did you probably do? You watched tutorials, read articles, watched more videos, maybe took notes. But after a while you realized something frustrating. Almost nothing stuck. Why? Because most people focus only on input. Reading, watching, listening. But real learning happens through output. Doing, practicing, explaining. Let me give you a simple example. Imagine trying to learn swimming by reading a book about swimming. You could memorize every technique in the world. But the moment you jump into the water, you'd probably panic. Because learning is a contact sport. You have to get involved. You have to try. You have to make mistakes. Another powerful idea that helps learning faster is something called the 80-20ths rule. It basically means that a small amount of effort gives most of the results. For example, if you're learning a new language, you don't need to know 10,000 words. Learning the most common 1,000 words already lets you understand most daily conversations. If you're learning guitar, basic chords matter way more than complicated solos. Master the fundamentals, and everything else becomes easier. There's also a technique called active recall, and it's incredibly powerful. Instead of rereading the same page again and again, close the book and try to remember what you just learned. Forcing your brain to retrieve information strengthens memory much more than simply looking at it. Think of it like lifting weights. If you just stare at a dumbbell, your muscles won't grow. You actually have to lift it. Your brain works the same way. But here's another mistake people make. Cramming. Studying for hours in one sitting might feel productive, but it usually doesn't work well. A better approach is spreading learning over time. Study a little each day. Your brain strengthens the memory every time you revisit the topic. It's like walking through a forest. The first time the path is hard to see, but the more times you walk it, the clearer the path becomes. Another powerful trick is teaching. Yes, even if you're still learning. When you try explaining something to someone else, your brain is forced to organize the information clearly. You quickly discover what you actually understand and what you don't. You don't even need a real audience. You can open your phone camera and pretend you're explaining the topic in a YouTube video. Your brain will naturally try to explain things better, and that deepens your understanding. Another trick: use multiple senses. The more senses you involve, the stronger the memory becomes. If you're learning Spanish, Don't just read words. Listen to Spanish. Watch Spanish videos. Write the words. Say them out loud. The brain loves that combination. But there's one thing that destroys learning faster than anything else. Distractions, notifications, social media, multitasking. Many people think multitasking makes them productive, but the brain can only focus deeply on one thing at a time. If you want to learn faster, remove distractions. Silence your phone. Close extra tabs. Focus on one task. There's also something people underestimate. Sleep. Sleep is when your brain actually organizes what you learned. During sleep, your brain strengthens important memories, so staying up all night studying often makes learning worse. And finally, mindset matters more than people think. If you keep telling yourself you're bad at learning, your brain starts believing it. But there's a simple shift that changes everything. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I can't do this yet." That one word changes everything. Because learning isn't really about collecting skills, it's about becoming a better version of yourself. And once you understand how learning actually works, improving any skill becomes much easier than people think. So here's the real question. What skill would you learn if you knew you could learn it faster than everyone else? Let me know in the comments. And if you want to learn more about psychology, the brain, and how to improve your life faster, make sure you subscribe. Because the more you understand how your mind works, the more powerful your life becomes.